Today's project is we're going to be installing a cargo rack from Hooke Road. And when I say we, I mean me and Jason. And when I say we, I mean he's going to do 99.9% of the work and I'm going to film. We. Real quick, first impressions of the material. It's heavy and it's thick, but they claim a 300-pound capacity, and so far, based upon just how thick and just how heavy the metal is, I don't doubt that, but we'll see. Another thing, opening up the box, checking out the instructions. The instructions are actually well done. They're easy to understand, lays out the approximate time that it's going to take to do the install and the tools that are required. So its attention to detail is what I like, and these days when you order parts, a lot of times you get really crappy instructions. That's not the case with this product. It actually has really good instructions. So we're going to dive in now and start installing the rack inside the Defiant. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I don't spend a lot of time going into the minutia of doing the install. Rather, I like to gloss over it and then really get into reviewing the product. We are going to show some of the install process, so I'm going to stop talking now and we're going to get busy. First things first, inventorying the hardware. It looks like everything is actually included. Real quick, with the instructions, you'll see it's notated A1 left bracket, A2 right bracket. Only problem is these are not labeled A1 and A2, so you will have to take them out and fit them up real quick. Easiest way to figure it out is skinny side. Thick side, skinny side to the rear. So these are going to be your mounting points on these bolts right here, so we're going to have to remove them and we're going to line them up to see which of the pre-drilled holes on this thing we actually use. So this is how you're going to look once you get the side plate put in. We're about to test fit the main shelf in. So far in the installation, by this point, this is usually where we are cussing and just pulling our hairs out and figuring out what parts we're gonna have to custom fabricate, what we're gonna have to cut. We haven't had to do any of that yet. The only thing we have come up with so far is that the bolts, we have to reuse the OEM bolts for the hardtop, and with the added thickness of the side shelf, they're not quite long enough for our comfort level. They could stand to include some slightly longer bolts to go in. It's really a minor thing because, like I said, at this point in the process of a typical install, we are literally trying to figure out what we're going to have to custom fabricate to make the job work. All right, so our test fitting, everything looks pretty good. There's no gaps. It is a little uneven. It looks a little higher to the passenger side, so you will need to make a few little adjustments here and there to dial it in and get everything nice and level. As is normal when we install anything on the Defiant, we had to stop and make a trip to the parts store, and I'll show you real quick what it is we had to do so that you can knock this out ahead of time and you don't encounter this problem. The stock bolts for the hardtop, you can see they're not threaded all the way to the end, so when you put the shelf in, you don't have a positive lock when it comes to the bolt. So it was popping loose whenever we were moving the shelf around, so it would most certainly pop loose on the trail. Do yourself a favor, go to the auto parts store ahead of time, get yourself some M8 by 125 bolts to go in there, and some washers, some split lock washers. Knock that out before you start the install. That way you don't have to do what we did and stop partway through and make a run to Lowe's. It would be nice if they included those with the kit, but at the end of the day, it's a very minor issue, especially if you get them before you start the job. All right, so it's all done. It's all bolted up. I'd say it's pretty sturdy. Here's what I'm wondering, and here's what I'm betting you're wondering. Does it rattle? Well, we're gonna go for a ride shortly and find out. All right, we've taken it for a quick spin around the block. It does not rattle, which is a pleasant surprise. So far, I like it, but the test will come when I load it up and put all the gear in there. It's the next day. Got the Jeep loaded up. So let's take a look at how it looks with the rack installed. This represents a fairly standard loadout for me if I'm just taking a short trip, like a day trip to a trail somewhere. But the fridge fits in there really well, which is, I was actually worried about because it's a large fridge. It's an AJ 70, I believe, set power. So it's very, very big. So it fits in there with a little bit of room to spare. My off-site power station fits in there just fine. The tote that I always have with me that has recovery gear in it, medical stuff, it fits in there just fine. My air compressor, my luggage, fold-out chairs go up here. It does have a cargo net that I can attach and put over that so it's not flopping around all over the place on the trail. Camera gear usually stays in the back seat just so I can get to it more quickly. Beyond that, it's definitely stepped my game up as far as my organization goes, as far as going out on the trail. We will see how it does actually on the trail, but you will have to tune into the next trail video to find that out, because for now, I'm done with this review. I like the rack. It is very well made. It doesn't squeak. It doesn't rattle. So I definitely recommend it. So check out Hooke Road's website and check the rack out. I believe right now it's presently listed for $199, and I think that's a pretty reasonable price point for this rack. So check it out. Until next time, this has been Defiant Off-Road.